Hey, YouTube. How's it going? Today is November 10th, 2025, and I want to give you my language learning update. I don't make all that many YouTube videos nowadays, and I thought to myself, I'd like to make some more. And in my business, one of the things that really helps me to grow and find students is to do more stuff. I know it sounds a bit it sounds very simplistic, maybe very vague, but doing more stuff is something that actually helps me to grow my business. So it means more content. It means reaching out to more people. It means just talking to more people in general. It means doing more to fix any problems in how we teach. It's just this focus on just getting more stuff done. And I find that when I am focused on doing more, the business grows. And so here we are. Thought to myself, I should make some more YouTube videos, and I wanted to kick this one off today. The big thing standing out to me today is just how much easier and more fun my Ukrainian learning experience has been in comparison to other languages that I've learned in the past. So if you're new to my videos, I personally speak English, French, Spanish, Mandarin, Gujarati. So 5 different languages that I speak well. And then I'm learning Ukrainian. Now, in the other foreign languages that I have, so that's like French, Spanish, Mandarin, Gujarati. In those four languages, I followed what you could call a pretty traditional approach. I took lots of classes. I used textbooks. I would do lots of listening. I would try and talk to people. I would do written assignments, worksheets, grammar. Maybe I'd use I'd travel abroad when I could. I would use an approach that I think we could call it an approach that is just good, frankly. An approach that anyone who looked at the method would probably say, hey, that's a decent way to learn a language. That's at least a reasonably effective way to learn a different language. And it worked. It genuinely worked for me. So I speak French at a very advanced level. I speak Spanish at a very advanced level. I speak Mandarin at an upper intermediate level. I speak Gujarati at an upper intermediate level. So these are languages I've learned time and time and time again. And I just thought that this is how to learn languages. I thought this is a way that works. If people follow this pathway, taking classes, worksheets, textbooks, conversation practice, of course, lots of listening, some reading, do some writing, written assignments, maybe try a couple of more innovative methods, but just like pretty standard stuff that people do. I just saw that if you do that, that's the way to learn a language. And it does work. People have learned languages with my approach or very similar approaches over and over and over again, time and time and time and time again. So that's for sure. It does work. But never did I ever imagine in my wildest dreams. I never thought that that I would stumble across something that works significantly better, both for me, but even for people that I've been teaching. I never thought that I would. And I also never thought that I would find a method that is so remarkably straightforward to use and so simple that anyone can do it. And it just seems to work. It just seems to work really, really well. And the method, it's not rocket science. It's really not rocket science. What I'm about to share with you is it's so common sense that I feel almost daft or almost unintelligent, overly simplistic to even say this. But here we go. Here's the method. Are you ready? Do lots of talking. Lots of talking, lots of listening, lots of reading, and a little bit of grammar study. Lots of talking, lots of listening, lots of reading, and a little bit of grammar study. If you hit those 4 points, you just do those 4 things. You just make this rapid progress. And learning a language is fun, it's engaging, you feel like you're getting better all the time. You don't get stuck at any plateaus. You don't study a language for 9 years and wonder, wow, when will I finally reach the level that I wanted to reach? All that stuff goes away. It's just fun, engaging, it's just a good experience overall across all dimensions. And again, I feel like it's such simplistic advice. Like, okay, read, talk, listen mostly, and a little bit of grammar. But think about it. People don't learn languages this way. Even me, I've been learning languages for over 18 years. Over 18 years now. And even me, who speaks multiple languages, has never followed such a simplistic, straightforward approach. I used to do way too much grammar. I'd go to classes where it was too structured. There'd be too much textbook work. There'd be too much writing, too many like unrealistic, what do you call them? Like role play style drills that are done in the class. Like too many things that are not reading, talking, listening, and a little bit of grammar. It wasn't those 4 things. And it's like, wow, it really might be that simple. So I'm learning Ukrainian, and that's all I do. I listen. For the most part, I listen. I do to some degree reading, and I do talking, and then I do a tiny bit of grammar. I haven't done grammar in a while, but I've done a tiny bit of grammar. And the results are just like just skyrocketing, doing really, really, really well. And same for people that I teach. And the cool thing is that, here's something that almost nobody's done. Perhaps nobody's done this. Perhaps literally nobody. Perhaps. So I've quantified fluency. It's taken a long time to figure it out, but I've quantified it with numbers. So it's actually measurable. You can measure different aspects of fluency, and you can categorize it by level. You can measure your vocabulary size. You can measure how fluently you speak, You can measure your grammatical accuracy. You can measure your pronunciation. We can measure a bunch of different things. So now, at the Calgary Language Nerds, what's been really cool is I can actually measure how effective my studying is in comparison to before. So I'll give you one example. In Mandarin, the language I learned prior to me studying Ukrainian, in Mandarin, I learned, apparently, when I look at some of the math, on average, I learned 3 vocabulary alone. There's other categories too, but for vocabulary, I acquired vocabulary 3 times slower than I acquire vocabulary in Ukrainian. That's wild. Now, any very nerdy language person, maybe someone like me who really, really lives in this world, they might make the argument to say, oh, it's because Ukrainian is a case-based language, so it actually has more words. And that's a fair argument. But when I say vocabulary, I refer to word families. So again, I understand that the normal average Joe doesn't necessarily understand the difference between like words and word family. I get it. It's not relevant for most people. But for the 1 or 2 of you who really might know and are thinking about this, when I'm talking about vocabulary size, I'm talking about word families, which stays constant across languages. It stays constant for the most part, from what I understand. And so that's crazy. 3 times learning vocabulary 3 times faster by using a much more simplistic approach. Listen, read, talk, a little bit of grammar. Listen, read, talk, a little bit of grammar. If we dig a little bit more into each 4, listening means listening to content at your level. It doesn't mean when you're a beginner throwing on a Netflix movie and just watching it in the background with English subtitles. No. It means like listening to stuff at your level. Sometimes when you do listening, you should listen to stuff at your level and have subtitles on and like pause to like actively watch and like really pause and rewind and look stuff up you don't understand. Sometimes you should listen like that. And sometimes it should be more in the background. You're paying attention, it's at your level, but you're not pausing. You're just trying to soak it all in. Talking doesn't mean like reading out some textbook notes or anything like that, because some people have thought that's what it means and that's what they've asked me. Not at all. Talking means spontaneous speech. Like right now, I'm doing spontaneous speech in English. That's what talking means. Spontaneous speech. Ideally with another speaker, like a native speaker, but you can also do it by yourself. Like literally, if I were doing this right now in Ukrainian, this video, spontaneous speech, right? If I were doing this in Ukrainian, that would count as speaking practice. Now I'm doing it in English because I'm making a video for you guys, but if I were doing it in Ukrainian or French or Spanish or any other language, that would count as speaking practice. So it could be spontaneous speech alone, or it can be actually conversing with the real human being. And I think for most, in the ideal, if possible, is to actually converse with the real human being. Obviously, that's ideal. But talking alone at home is also still very effective. So that's what talking means. Reading is reading, so reading stuff at your level. Again, very similar to listening. And then grammar study, the main thing there is just keep it to a minimum. We don't need to be doing tons and tons and tons of grammar study, just a little bit. And this is working, again, it's working really well for me, objectively with data, as well as subjectively. I'm having way more fun learning Ukrainian. It feels easier. It feels like it's flowing. So there's the subjective experience and the objective experience. But also for a lot of the anyone that I'm teaching who's actually enrolled in my guaranteed fluency program and they're following the program, anyone like that is also, from what I can tell, experiencing very similar results as what I personally am experiencing in Ukrainian. So that's just so cool. Anyway, let's wrap this video up here. Thank you for watching. I'm going to try. I don't know if I'll stick with it. I have the best of intentions to sit down once a day, record some kind of video like this, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever I have in me, and get into a nice routine on YouTube. That's my intention. We'll see how this goes. Thank you again for watching. I appreciate you watching this, and yeah, we'll chat later. Bye-bye. See you.